Hi, and welcome to the podcast. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, thanks for coming back. If you're new, this is a mostly knitting related podcast. I'm a yarn dyer. Oh, and my name is Jamie. And I'm the yarn dyer behind m1yarns.com. And in this podcast, vlog, whatever you want to call it, I generally talk about my projects, upcoming events where you can find me vending my yarn, and all sorts of other kind of goodies. So I've got a fun episode for you today. It's kind of revolving around goals. And I want to say this time of year, typically with the goal of me wanting to make a sweater for Rhinebeck, or in other words, the New York Sheep and Wool Festival in October, it has me evaluate, okay, what do I want to make for that? Which typically I'll pick a piece that is somewhat of a challenge to make it like a really special thing. And then that will also cause me to evaluate, well, what do I need to finish? And in looking at my pile of projects, this is probably resonating with all of you. I'm thinking like, wow, I have so many things that are this close to being done. I would probably find so much satisfaction with just finishing them and clearing them up. And so that's what I've been really concentrating on the last few weeks. I know it's been about a month since I recorded a regular podcast. If you're new here, I kind of do these general catch-all episodes about every couple weeks. And then whenever I finish knitting something, except for this, I don't think I did one for this. I will do like a quick 5 to 10 minute finished object review video that's really helpful if you are considering making the pattern in question. And so that brings me to, I should talk about what I'm wearing. This is the Ranunculus by Midori. I'm getting a weird shadow, just noticed that. Midori Hirose, I think is how you pronounce her name. And this is my third time knitting this. This time around, I made some modifications. This is my own hand-dyed yarn. It is a one-of-a-kind colorway that is from the quarterly yarn box that I put out. It's called Yarn Addicts Anonymous. If you're interested, it's on my website. You get 3 skeins of yarn. You get a whole bunch of goodies and whatnot. It's really fun. But this was one of the colorways from last fall. I honestly can't even remember the name of the colorway off the top of my head. It doesn't matter. But I used 1 skein. I eliminated some of the, what do you call it? Lace work in here because I don't love like really open lace work, kind of where my cleavage might show. I'm more into texture than lace. So that's what I'm wearing. I got a new hair product. These are my natural wavy curls. And last night I just kind of washed and put this new product in. I'm pretty excited. So sorry if I'm playing with my hair a lot. I think I'm just kind of like trying to figure out what it's trying to do today. Anyway. So this is a knitting podcast. This is not a hair podcast. What have I been working on since the last time we chatted? Well, my Rhinebeck sweater. One of. I'm planning on taking 3. One I already finished, which was the Barbie crop, which I'll insert a photo here. And that was a test knit for Maral of Knitting Ruined My Life. And that was super fun, and I loved the colors. They were my own hand-dyed yarn. I loved the pattern. I just loved it. I have a whole video about it. I'll link to, is it this corner or this corner? I don't know. I'll link it in the corner. So now my second one is the Spark Cardigan by Andrea Mowery. And I am knitting this with my own hand-dyed yarn in the colorway Silver Fox on my middle of the road base, which is worsted weight superwash. And then I'm also using, for the contrast color, Primrose yarn. I forget what this base is called. I have the tag here. What am I talking about? I know the colorway is called Fig. I bought this at Rhinebeck last year. Oh, the base is called Homestead Sport. So anyway, Fig. This is a bottom-up sweater design, which is usually not my favorite, but I really wanted the cardigan itself. So after I had a little bit of a meltdown a couple weeks ago in wanting to cast this on, I realized, okay, sometimes you just have to encourage yourself. Just take it one step at a time. So I cast on sleeve number 1. It went so well, it only took me 4 days to knit. Don't you love my gauge swatch? I'm not big into gauge swatching, and about 20% of the time that ends up shooting myself in the foot. But I think so far so good. So then I knit sleeve number 2 in about a week. Love it. I'm actually like really vibing on this. So then last night I cast on the body, which again, it's bottom up. So this is the hem. Let's see. Don't you hate when you look at your knitting and you're like, oh my God, did I twist the stitches? I know I didn't, but it just looks, let me get it organized so I don't think that I did, even though I know I didn't. Okay. So this is the hem. It's like a 4x4 rib. And aren't these the cutest darn things? These are stitch stoppers. Let me put it this way so you can see the sheep. These are by Fox and Pine Stitches, and they are on my website. These are the only stitch stoppers that actually, I've seen them called point protectors too. They actually stay on, which is good. Anyway, so all that to say, I'm kind of cruising on this cardigan. It's knit in the round bottom up and then steeked, which if you don't know what that means you cut open your knitting to create a cardigan. I've done it twice before, once on a little practice swatch and once on a cardigan I knit for last year's Rhinebeck, and I loved it. It actually went really well, and I am all about it, and I want so many steeked cardigans. There's actually not that many steeked cardigan patterns on Ravelry, which is surprising. So anyway, my goal is to have this finished by, let's see, we are in mid-July right now. What is today? Today is like the 14th or so. I would love to finish this by mid-August. I think that's the plan. Then that will leave me with my 3rd Rhinebeck sweater, which I need to, I'll insert a photo here, but I need to dye the yarn for it because it's a bulky yarn, and I don't normally carry bulky in my shop, and I wanted very specific colors, and so I figured rather than shop for the yarn, I can just dye the yarn I want. So I ordered the base. I do have it somewhere around here. Anyway, we'll talk about that next time. So yeah, if you didn't know, I do custom dye orders, not just for myself. So if you have a sweater project that you're wanting something special and a specific base, you know, even if I don't regularly carry it, let's talk. Let's create something unique for you. So I needed a little break after the sleeves of that Spark cardigan. And I felt like it was a good opportunity to finish up one of my whips. So I had previously finished the first mitt in the pair of Oaktober mitts. And look how cute that palm is. I just love it. I had finished this maybe 6 weeks ago or so. Obviously, I don't need these in July in Michigan. But I was like, you know what? This only takes like maybe a few days to knit. I should just hurry up and, you know, I should just hurry up and knit my second mitt and be done. So I only have maybe, I don't know, 6 or 7 rounds to go, and then I will be done. So actually, you would think that this would be like not something you'd want to knit in the summer, but it's DK, it's small and portable. You could take to the park, to your kids' soccer games, all that sort of thing. It's really fun. I love this pattern. Love, love, love. And this is a kit on my website. It comes in both, so there's 2 versions. They both have this sand colorway as the main colorway. And then there's, for the contrast color, you either get this brown, it's like a really deep chocolatey brown, or this bluish black as the contrast color. So I think I called it Grizzly Bear, and the other one's Black Bear. So I'm gonna wrap that project up in the next couple days so I can just mark it complete on my Ravelry project page. Which I really want to do. I want to bang out some of these whips. Like, it's ridiculous that I have this stuff going. Another one, did you see Andrea Mowery's new vest and pullover pattern? It's basically sweater versions of the Cowl that she released a few months ago, which I'm knitting. I don't even know what this is called. It has escaped me. God, I have the worst memory. I'm sitting here looking at it like I have no idea. But this is knit in the round. It's color work. So it's knit like a tube, and then you twist it and seam it. So it's like a Mobius. I'm nearly done. I probably have, I think it's supposed to be like 22 inches long. I don't know. I could be like within several rounds of being done. I should just finish this. This is also a kit on my website where, so you use 3 yarns. I'll tell you what I'm using. You use a fingering. This is my Lean Mean Machine and Harvest. Then you also use an alpaca lace weight. This is Wine. And then you use a hand spun, I think Sport or DK, and this is, the base is called Entropy. Oh, it's Feederbrook Farm. They're from New York. So these 3 used together is creating this fun. Let me set these balls down. There's like a color shift you can see. These are also Fox and Pine stitch stoppers. They're so cute, cowboy hats. Anyway, so I feel like once I wrap up the mitts and this cowl, which are both kits, so I need the samples for my booth. Speaking of booth, I am vending at the end of July at the Wool and Wine Festival at Sandhill Crane Vineyards in Jackson, Michigan. So if you're like a mid-Michigan person, definitely come out for the day. It's a 1-day event, July 29th, 10 to 5 at the Vineyard. And then in August, I'll be at the Michigan Fiber Festival in Allegan, which I think is around the weekend of the 19th, 20th, that kind of thing. So if you're in Chicago, it's close enough really to make like a little day trip. That is a great fiber festival, so I'll be vending there. So I do want those samples for my booth. The last project that I really want to get done is, this has been on the needles forever. This is the Seaglass tee. I must have cast this on like over a year ago. This is made out of mini skeins from my Advent kit that I dyed in 2021. And I mean, I'm really near the point of separating for the sleeves, so I'm kind of at the point where you have the most stitches. It being fingering weight, and then you have to change, it's 2-color color work. You have to change your yarn every round. I mean, look at how crazy that is. It's just very tedious to knit. And so I keep losing steam on this. But considering I'm like at the point where it's gonna speed up because I'm gonna have split for the sleeves, I feel like I should just get on with finishing it. Plus I wanna wear it this summer. But I love the look of it. I love the idea of like, you could use it for your Advent yarn, your scraps. I would never knit this again. This is so tedious, so tedious. So I think I have to do what I did with the Spark cardigan and just speak positivity into myself and get on with it. So if I can finish that by the end of August, I'll be happy. We should call this episode Let's Talk Goals. End of August, mitts will be done by the end of the week. Cowl will be done by the end of July. And the Spark cardigan will be done by mid-August. There we are. We've talked the goals. Okay, this was a good talk. Thank you for cheering me on silently through the camera. What else do I have to talk about? Oh, if you are in Metro Detroit, which I know a lot of my viewers are, I am teaching a Learn to Dye yarn workshop August 3rd in collaboration with Have You Any Wool, which is a yarn shop in Berkeley, Michigan. Why can I not say Michigan? And I live in Michigan. So if you're interested, definitely reach out to that yarn shop to sign up. You can either do where you would get a single skein of yarn, or you can dye your own sweater quantity. So it's fun to have options. I think that's all I have for you today. So we'll make this a short and sweet episode. Thanks for joining me. I would love it if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up and the subscribe button if you don't already subscribe. It really helps. Both those things really help my channel. And I hope your knitting is making you happy. Tell me in the comments below what goals you have for either projects you have on your needles or that you want to cast on. Let's talk goals. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.